Now, chapter 1, problem set. First question, MCQ. Select the correct alternative which is of 1 mark each. How many midpoints a segment have? So, for that we will draw a segment. A segment of say 8 centimeter. Now we know that a segment of 8 centimeter A, B. Now half of 8 will be 4. So midpoint will be at this distance, correct? At this point. Now this point is considered to be a midpoint where AM equal to MB. AB is 8, AM is 4 and BM is also 4. So how many midpoint a segment can have? Definitely only one. So answer is only one. There cannot be more than one midpoint. If midpoint comes here, then definitely it will be less than 4 and the other part will be more than 4, which is not a midpoint because midpoint always divide a segment in two equal part, correct? Now the second one, how many points are there in intersection of two distinct lines? So for that we will draw two distinct lines. Line L and line M. If they are intersecting, these two lines are distinct. Distinct means separate. They both have different identity. Line L and line M are two distinct points. Now how many common points they have in intersection? For intersection here they have only one and one common point. We can name it as A, as B, as C, anything. So how many common points there in a intersection of two distinct lines? So infinite common point, two common point, one common point and not a single common point. And the answer is definitely one common point. Number 3. How many lines are determined by three distinct points? Now how many lines we can determine by three distinct points? Let's see, three distinct points. The first, the second and the third. We have these three distinct points. How many lines can be determined by? So we can draw one line if all 3 points are collinear, correct? Or if 3 points are non-collinear like this, then how many lines we can draw? We can draw one line, so definitely both side arrow will come. Second line, and this one is the third line. The third line. So how many lines we can draw? We can draw 3 lines if points are non-collinear and if points are collinear. So answer is 2, 3, 1 or 3 or 6. Here condition is not given whether they are collinear or not collinear. So we have to consider both the conditions. If they are collinear, we can draw only one line, and if they are non-collinear, we can draw 3 lines. So answer is 1 or 3. Remember, 9th standard is all about logic. So you should think of more possibilities rather than just thinking traditionally or only one possibility. The next, find distance AB if coordinate of A and B are -2 and 5 respectively. Now here coordinate of A is given, coordinate of A is given -2 and coordinate of B is given 5. We know to find distance, distance is greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. So here 5 is greater than -2. So distance of A comma B, greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate, bracket minus bracket, compulsory you should put brackets, okay? So greater coordinate is 5 and smaller coordinate is -2. So 5 minus -2 to +2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 units should be the answer. You can do orally, not to do the steps, right? It is MCQ. Greater minus smaller. So 5 minus -2. So 5 plus 2 and 5 plus 2 is 7. So 7 is the answer. So again answer is option C. Fifth one, if P dash Q dash R P dash Q dash R. What does that mean, P dash Q dash R? Let's draw the figure. For P dash Q dash R, I will draw a random figure. P, Q and R. That means Q lies between P and R. Distance PQ is 2 unit. So distance PQ equal to 2. Distance PR is 10. P to R, the full distance P to R is 10. What is distance QR? Orally you can see this, 10 minus 2. So this will be 8 because 2 plus 8 will be 10. So answer will be 8. But then too I will do by method. Now PR, the longest part or the longest side is PR. PR equal to PQ plus QR. Reason, P dash Q dash R. PR equal to 10. PQ is 2. We need to find QR. As whatever we need to find, we have to isolate it. So we need to isolate QR. So PQ will go on the other side. That is 2 will go on the other side, and this plus 2 will change its sides and will become minus 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8 equal to QR. So we got QR equal to 8. Correct? So answer is B, 8. Hope you understood all the MCQs. It's time of sum number 2, which is 2 marks each. On a number line, coordinates of P, Q, R are 3, minus 5 and 6. So we'll start with that. Solution on a number line. P stands for 3, Q stands for minus 5 and R stands for 6. Correct? Now state with the reason the points whether the following statement are true or false. So we need to find where all these 4 statements are true or false. So for that we need to find all the distances. Here distance PQ. So first we will find out distance PQ. So since I will write formula only one time, distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Why I am writing distance formula ahead or like in the starting itself, so I don't have to write it again and again, because this formula will be used many times. Now the first one, distance PQ. So for distance PQ, for distance P comma Q. Now compare P and Q. P and Q. Correct? P stands for 3 and Q stands for minus 5. Since 3 is greater than minus 5, therefore distance of P comma Q, now no need to write formula, directly greater minus smaller. The greater is 3, smaller is minus 5. So 3 plus 5 and 3 plus 5 is 8 units. So we got distance P comma Q as 8 units. Now distance, for distance the second is Q comma R. Q comma R. Now Q stands for minus 5 and R stands for 6. Since 6 is greater than minus 5, therefore distance Q comma R equal to greater minus smaller coordinate. Therefore distance Q comma R equal to greater one is 6 and smaller one is minus 5. So 6 plus 5. Therefore distance Q comma R equal to 11. And the last one, for distance P comma R. P comma R. Now distance P comma R. First P coordinate is 3 and R's coordinate is 6. Since 6 is greater than 3, therefore distance P comma R equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. What is greater coordinate? 6. What is smaller coordinate? 3. 6 minus 3 and 6 minus 3 is 3 3 what? Units. Here also you have to write units. Okay, and draw partition as well. Here you need to draw partition. Same here. So finally we got all the units PQ, QR and PR. Now we will check out with the first statement. Now for the first, whether this statement is correct or not. Now to check whether the statement are correct or not, we need to do LHS and RHS. LHS and RHS. For statement 1, LHS. LHS stands for left hand side of equal to. Left hand side of the equal to, we have to write two distance, addition of two distance. Distance P comma Q plus distance Q comma R. Correct? And RHS. And what we have in RHS? RHS stands for, if LHS stands for left hand side, RHS stands for right hand side of equal to. So distance P comma R. We know distance P comma R is 3 units. 3 units. So we'll mark it as 2. Why 2? Because this is already marked as 1. Right? This will be the first. Now PQ. What is PQ? 8 plus. What is QR? 11. So 8 plus 11 is 19. Mark it 1. Now do you think LHS is equal to RHS? No, because 19 cannot be equal to 3. Therefore, from 1 and 2, we can conclude that LHS is not equal to RHS, and therefore first statement is a false. Therefore distance of P comma Q plus distance of Q comma R equal to distance of P comma R is a false statement. Hope you understood the first one. Similarly, you have to do next 3. Okay, for number 2. Now for number 2, LHS. What is left hand side? Distance P comma R plus distance R comma Q equal to. Not equal to, now what we need to write? RHS. Put comma and write RHS. RHS we have distance P comma Q. Now what is distance P comma Q? P comma Q is 8 unit. Now distance P comma R. P comma R is this, P comma R, which is 3 unit, plus distance R comma Q. R comma Q is this, which is 11 units. So 3 plus 11 is 14 and 8 unit. We will mark it as 1 and this is as 2. Now again, you think 14 is equal to 8? Definitely not, as LHS, or I will write first, from 1 and 2, LHS is not equal to RHS. Therefore, the question, that is distance P comma R plus distance R comma Q equal to distance P comma Q, is a false statement. This is for 2. Now third and fourth. Now for the third one. Third. And what we have to write first? LHS. What does it stands for? Left hand side. So that is distance RP plus distance PQ. And what is RHS? RHS we have distance RQ. Hopefully this is correct, because the first two were wrong. Now we know the distance PR. PR is this, 3. RP and PR is one and the same. Distance PQ. PQ is 8. So 3 plus 8 is 11 units. And RHS. RQ. What is RQ? 11 units. Correct? So we'll mark it as 1 and 2. This time luckily it is correct. See, LHS is equal to RHS. So I'll write from 1 and 2. LHS is equal to RHS. Therefore, statement distance of RP plus distance of PQ equal to distance of RQ is a true statement. Isn't it easy? Number 4th, ditto same way. What we have to start with? LHS. And what is LHS? This time we have subtraction. So distance of PQ minus distance of PR, that is LHS. And what is RHS? RHS is distance of QR. Now distance of PQ, we know PQ distance is 8 minus distance of PR, PR distance is 3. So PQ minus PR, so 8 minus 3 will be 5 units. And RHS, distance of QR, QR is 11 units. Right? We'll mark this as 1 and the other part as second. Do you think 5 is equal to 11? Definitely not. So from 1 and 2, the reason from 1 and 2, LHS is not equal to RHS. Therefore, distance P comma Q minus distance of P comma R equal to distance of Q comma R is a false statement. And that is the answer of question number 4 also. So this way we have ended sum number 2. Here every part will be of 2 marks. So I don't think so they will ask you more than such 2 sums, not more than that. Now sum number 3, find the distance between each pair, and you know the distance is so easy. Okay, we will write formula only one time because again and again same formula will be used. So first of all we will write, since distance formula is distance equal to, what is the formula? Greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Correct? Now first we need to compare 3, 6. So first question is 3, 6. Since we know 6 is greater than 3, therefore distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Why I am not writing formula? Because I have already written formula one time at the head of the sums. Now 6 and 3. 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 is 3 units. And that is all. So distance between 3 and 6 is 3 units. And we know that 3 after 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this way also we got the answer 3 units. The next one. Minus 9 and minus 1. Number 2. Minus 9 comma minus 1. Since we know minus 1 is greater than minus 9. Therefore distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate, greater minus 1, smaller minus 9. Minus 1 plus 9. Minus 1 plus 9 is 8 units. So distance is the 8 units. Number 3. The third one is minus 4 and 5. Minus 4 and 5. Since 5 is greater than minus 4, distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Greater coordinate is 5, smaller is minus 4. 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is 9 units. So definitely distance between minus 5 and 4 is 9 units. Number 4th one. The 4th one was 0 comma minus 2. 0 comma minus 2. Since minus 2 is greater than 0, wrong. 0 is greater than minus 2. Distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Greater is 0, minus 2 is the smaller one. 0 minus minus plus 2. So 0 plus 2 is 2 units. Remember, distance cannot be negative. Number 5th. Now fifth one, some of the students might think that it is so difficult how to do it. It is not difficult, just attempt in the way that you do. The similar way. Now x plus 3 and x minus 3. Definitely x plus 3 is the positive one plus 3, so it will be greater. So x plus 3 is greater than x minus 3. And you know the formula of distance. Distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Greater one x plus 3 is the smaller one x minus 3. Now x plus 3, when we open the bracket, it will remain x plus 3. When outside the bracket minus sign is there, now minus into x minus x. Minus into minus 3 plus 3, you know minus into minus become plus. Now plus x minus x, same variable will come together. So plus x minus x will get cancelled. Plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 will become plus 6. So 6 units is the distance between two given coordinates. Number sixth one. The sixth one is given minus 25 and minus 47. See, the concept is same, the method is same, only the complexity of number might change. Here the number not from single digit, they are now double digit. So it's okay. It doesn't make much difference. Now you should know that minus 25 is definitely greater than minus 47. So I'll write since minus 25 is greater than minus 47, therefore distance. Again, what is distance? Greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Greater is minus 25, smaller is minus 47. Minus 25 plus 47. Now 7, right? 7 minus 2, 7 minus 2, right? Now bigger number minus smaller number. 7 minus 5 is 2 and 4 minus 2 is 2. So plus 22. So distance is plus 22 units. Number 7th. Now 7th one is 80 minus 80 comma minus 85. Since 80 positive number is greater than negative number, therefore distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Now why I am not writing formula? Again, just to remind you, I have already written the formula here up because all the sums are with the same formula. Now greater coordinate is 80 and the smaller one is minus 85. 80 minus minus plus 85 will be 165 units. And this is the end of sum number 3. All the sums here, all sums are of 1 mark each. Let's start with sum number 4. Sum number 4, which is of 3 marks. Coordinate of point P on a number line is minus 7. So we will draw a random number line. Where we will take point P randomly here, point P, whose coordinate is minus 7. Find the coordinate of a point on a number line which is at the distance of 8 unit from P. So simple, 8 unit from P, it means it can be 8 unit to the right or 8 unit to the left. Correct? So there are two possibilities. Remember, I have already told you, you are in 9th standard now. You should think of logic and you have to show all the possibilities. All the possibilities. So here the possibilities of point Q. No, it is not mentioned that point is Q. So we have to assume let the required point be point Q, or directly you can write that the required point be Q. Now Q can be on the right side of P or on the left side. So Q can be on right side or left side of point P. So there are two cases, if it is on right side and if it is on left side. So we will assume first, so that we will write case 1. Case 1, the first case, let Q be on right side of point P. Now Q, if we are assuming Q is on the right side, Q is on the right side of P, correct? Q. So distance P comma Q. Now the point Q is on the right side and P is on the left side. So we know that the coordinate of right is always greater than coordinate of left. So coordinate of Q is greater than coordinate of P. Therefore Q is greater than P. Coordinate of Q is greater than P. Now distance. Distance, we know that greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. We know the distance is already given. Distance we need to find is of 8 units. So distance I'll assume 8 unit. Greater coordinate will be Q minus smaller coordinate is P, because Q is greater than P. Now we'll substitute the values. 8. Q value we need to find minus P value. We know P value is minus 7. So 8 equal to Q minus minus plus 7. Now 8 plus 7 will go on the other side. It turns into minus 7 and forms Q. Q will remain Q. So Q equal to 1. 8 minus 7 is 1. So here the coordinate of Q will be 1. So we need to put a box and put 1 there. Correct? Now we'll check out. See, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0 and 1. So total 8 numbers are there. Correct? There are 8 numbers. 8 numbers means 8 units. So Q equal to 1. This is the first case. Now case 2. Let Q be on the left side. Earlier we have assumed that is on right side. Now we will assume that is on left side of point Q. No, point P. Correct? Therefore, now if Q is here on the left side, so now P will be greater. Why? Because the point which is on the right side, is always greater. So if Q is on the left side, so P will be on the right side. So P will be greater. Therefore, P is greater than Q. Correct? Now again distance formula. Now distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. Distance we know it is 8 unit. Greater coordinate is P and smaller is Q. Now 8 equal to bracket minus bracket P. P value is minus 7 and Q value is we not given, we need to find. So Q. So 8 minus 7 minus Q. Minus 7 will come on this side and you know that 8 plus 7 minus 7 will become plus 7 equal to minus Q. So minus Q equal to 8 plus 7 is 15. And Q equal to minus 15 units. No, not unit. It is a coordinate now. So coordinate doesn't have units. So Q will be minus 15. So here second box and minus 15. Therefore, the coordinate of a point which is at the distance of 8 units from point P bracket minus 7 are minus 15 or 1. It can be minus 15 or 1. And this is the answer of sum number 4. This sum is very important. Now sum number 5. If A dash B dash C, distance of A comma C equal to 17, distance of B comma C equal to 6.5, then find distance of A comma B. If A dash B dash C is given, it is already given. So since A dash B dash C, so we know the formula when A dash B dash C is AC equal to AB plus BC. AC, or I can write distance of A comma C equal to distance of A comma B plus distance of B comma C. Now distance of AC is 17, distance of AB we don't know, plus distance of B comma C is 6.5. So 17 minus 6.5 equal to distance of A comma B. Now distance of A comma B equal to 17 minus 6.5, which is 10.5, and distance is always in units. So answer, distance of AB is 6.5 units, and that is the end of this sum. Second sum. If P dash Q dash R, since P dash Q dash R, and we know that PR or distance of PR, correct, PR first and last, equal to distance of PQ plus distance of QR. Therefore, distance of PR we need to find. See here, we need to find distance of PR. Distance of PQ is 3.4 and distance of QR is 5.7. So distance of P comma R equal to 4 plus 7 plus 4 is 11 and 5 plus 4 is 9. So 9.1 units. So this is the answer of sum number 2, right? And this is the end of sum number 5. Here, all sums are of minimum 1 or maximum 2 marks. Now it's time of sum number 6, which is of 3 marks. Coordinate of point A on a number line is 1. This sum is ditto like sum number 4. If you don't know this sum, first check out sum number 4 again, try to understand. If you know sum number 4, sum number 6 will be very easy for you. The coordinate of point A on a number line is 1. So I will assume this be the point A with coordinate plus 1, because it is given just 1. Just 1 means plus 1. What are the coordinate of points on the number line which are at the distance of 7 units from A? 7 units from A, it might be 7 unit to the right or 7 unit to the left. Again, two possibilities. 9th standard logic, hope you understood. Okay, so let's start with let B be the point at a distance of 7 units from point A. Now the point B can be on left side of A, correct, or right side of the A. So now there will be two cases. So case 1, if point, first I'll take off right side. So point B is on right side of point A. So point B will assume here that is on the right side of point A. So unit distance is given 7 units. A to B is 7 units. Now B is on the right side, means definitely coordinate of B is greater, because the coordinate which is on the right side is always greater than the coordinate which is on the left side. Okay, hope you are understanding this. So distance formula, since distance formula equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. In exam you have to write full form. Right now for practice it's okay if you are using short form. Distance A comma B, greater coordinate will be A, because A is on the right side, so I'll write here. Therefore A is greater than B. So greater coordinate is A, smaller coordinate is B. Sorry, B is on the right side, right? B is on the right side, so B is greater than A. It's wrong, it was a mistake. B is on the right side, so B is greater than A. So greater coordinate will be B, smaller will be A. So it will be B minus A. Now distance of A comma B is given 7. B coordinate we don't know, we need to find. Minus A coordinate we know it is 1. So 7 equal to B. Minus into plus, minus 1. Minus 1 will come on this side. So 7 plus 1 equal to B. Therefore B equal to 8. Don't write units because B is the coordinate. So make a box and write 8 here. And definitely 1 after 1 7 right now. After 1 7, count 7. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 will be the answer. Now previous to the one, right? On the left side. Case 2. Case 2. If point B is on left side of point A. Therefore, now if point B is here on the left side, correct? So therefore A is greater than B. This time we have now A, because A will come on the right side and A will be greater than B. Therefore distance equal to greater coordinate minus smaller coordinate. So distance A comma B equal to greater coordinate is A minus B. Therefore distance AB is 7. A plus 1 minus B. 7. 1 will come on this side, turns into minus 1 equal to minus B. 7 minus 1 is 6 equal to minus B, and B equal to minus 6. Don't write units because it is just a coordinate. So what is B? Minus 6. So definitely write in reverse order to at the distance of 7 units. Correct, BA is 7 units, but to the left. So 7 units. Right now 7 units. Now 7 numbers, 7 units. After 1. So in reverse order, right? So 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5 and minus 6. Minus 6. So minus 6 is the answer. So final answer. The required coordinate of point B is 8 or minus 6, and this is the end of sum number 6. Now again easy sums, that is 7 sum, which is of 1 mark. Write the statement in conditional form. In short, we have to write the same statement in if and then form. So every rhombus is a square, conditional form. If a quadrilateral is a rhombus, then it is a square. So we will write the statement: if a given quadrilateral is a rhombus, then it is a square. That is its conditional form. The second, angles in linear pair are supplementary. Now if the angles are in linear pair, then they are supplementary. So conditional form. If two angles are in a linear pair, then they are supplementary. The next one, third. A triangle is a figure formed by 3 segments. Correct? So triangle is a figure formed by 3 segments. So conditional form. We know if it is a triangle, then it is formed by 3 segments, or if a figure is formed by 3 segments, then it is a triangle. So we will write here, your first triangle is given. So if a figure is a triangle, is a triangle, then it is formed by three segments. Here we will need to put comma in next to triangle. Here also, here it's comma, and here comma will come next to rhombus. Fourth one, a number having only two divisor is called a prime number. So if a number is having only two divisor, then it is called a prime number. So we'll write conditional form. If a number has only two divisors, then it is a prime number. Or you can write it is called a prime number. So this is the end of sum number 7, conditional form. Sum number 8, which is of 1 mark. If a sum of the measure of angle of a figure is 180 degree, then the figure is a triangle. We have to write in converse form. So what is converse form? Instead of if, you have to use then, and instead of then, you have to use if. So that is interchange of if and then. If the figure is a triangle, then the sum of measure of their angle is 180 degree. That will be its converse form. So let's start with the answer or the solution. If, or I will write converse form, converse. If the figure is a triangle, then here put comma and then write then the sum of measures of angles is 180 degree. That's all. Next again, if the sum of measure of two angle is 90 degree, then they are complement of each other. They are complement of each other. So here instead of then we have to write if, and here instead of if we have to write then. That is called converse. Now converse statement. If they means if two angles are complement of each other. If they means what? Two angles. So two angles are complement of each other, comma, then the sum of the measure of two angle, that is sum of them, then the sum of them is 90 degree. That's all. Number 3, if the corresponding angles formed by transversal of two lines are congruent, then two lines are parallel. So instead of if we have to use then, and instead of then we have to use if. So converse. If the two lines are parallel, then the corresponding angles formed by transversal of two lines are congruent. And here you can just modify this statement and write with the if, like this way. If the two lines are parallel and intersected by transversal, then corresponding angles are congruent. That is also correct. The next one. If the sum of the digit of a number is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. So, instead of then, if will come. Instead of if, then will come. That is called converse form. So, converse. If the number is divisible by 3. If the number is divisible by 3, then the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, or you can just write sum of the digit is divisible by 3. That's all. This is the end of sum number 8. Now sum number 9, write the antecedent, that is given part, and the consequent, which is a part to be proved in the following statement. If all sides of triangle are congruent, then its all angles are congruent. If the statement is not given in if and then form, then first write in conditional form, that is if and then form. But here in the first question, the statement itself is given in the conditional form. If all sides of a triangle are congruent, then its all angles are congruent. So first we will write antecedent. Antecedent. Antecedent means given part. That is called given. I'll write under bracket also, given. And what is given? The statement after if. All sides of a triangle are congruent. So I'll write all the sides of the triangle or a triangle are congruent. Next we have to write consequent. 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 Q will come. Okay, consequent. Now consequent means to prove. To prove. Then after statement coming after then. So its all angles are congruent. So we'll write all the angles are congruent. Okay, the next one. The diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. This statement is not conditional. So we have to first write a conditional statement. Conditional statement. And what is the conditional statement? Diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. That means if it is a parallelogram, then diagonal bisect each other. So if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then we need to put comma here, then diagonals bisect each other. Now we will write first antecedent. Antecedent, which is also known as given. Now statement coming after if is called antecedent. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Next is subsequent. Sorry, it's a consequent. Consequent. Okay, consequent is to prove. What is to prove now? What we need to prove? The diagonal bisect each other. So diagonals bisect each other. This is the end of sum number 2, and main sum number 9. Here these are of 2 marks each. Sum number 10. Draw a labeled figure showing the information in each of the following statements and write the antecedent and the consequent. Two equilateral triangles are similar. Here we know there are two equilateral triangles, triangle ABC and triangle PQR. These two triangles are similar triangles. So first we will write the statement which is already written. Now we will convert first into conditional statement. Conditional statement. And what do you mean by conditional statement? If two, right now, if and then form. So if two equilateral triangles, right now, so if the two given triangles are equilateral triangle, then they are similar. So now we will write antecedent. Antecedent, which is given. And what is given? Write the statement coming after if. The two given triangles are equilateral triangle. The two triangles are equilateral triangles. Now we'll write name also, that is triangle ABC and triangle PQR are equilateral triangle. Yes, see, they are equilateral triangle. These three sides are equal and other three sides are equal, correct? Next, we need to prove now consequent. Consequent, which is to prove. And what we need to prove? Consequent is coming after then. So then they are similar. So we need to prove the two triangles are similar. The two triangles are similar. That is, triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. That's all. This is the consequent to prove. If you want to underline, you can underline the main part. That is conditional statement. I will be using pencil to underline this. Conditional statement, antecedent, and the consequent. Okay, the next second. If angles in a linear pair are congruent, then each of them is a right angle. It is already given in the conditional form, so no need to write again in conditional form. So directly we will write first antecedent. So antecedent, which is given. We will underline at the last. A statement coming after if is antecedent. The angles in a linear pair are congruent. So here we will write angles in a linear pair are congruent. That is, now we will write in, right, with example, angle ABD and angle ABC. ABD and ABC are in linear pair and congruent to. Okay, that is angle ABD is congruent to angle ABC. They are linear pair and congruent to, that is antecedent. Now consequent, that is to prove. And what is to prove? The statement which is coming after then each of them is right angle. Then each of them is a right angle. That is angle ABD equal to angle ABC equal to 90 degree. We have to prove that these angles are 90 degrees. Correct? Now what we will do, we will underline the antecedent and consequent. So antecedent and consequent, that is to prove. Now sum number 3. Sum number 3. If the altitudes drawn on two sides of a triangle are congruent, then these two sides are congruent. So antecedent statement coming after if. The altitudes drawn on two sides of triangle are congruent. The altitudes drawn on two sides of a triangle are congruent. That is, now we'll write with example. Correct? If altitudes drawn on a two sides of a triangle, right? So altitudes AB. So in triangle ABC, first altitude is AB. Altitude means perpendicular. So AD, or I'll write seg AD, is perpendicular on side. Now AD is perpendicular on side BC. And the other perpendicular is BE. BE. Seg BE is perpendicular on side AC. So AD is perpendicular on BC. BE is perpendicular on AC. If the segments are perpendicular, correct, and they are congruent also, the altitude drawn on two sides of triangle are congruent. It means altitudes are congruent such that seg AD is congruent to seg BE. So altitudes are perpendicular, that, and they are congruent also. So to prove that two sides are congruent, the two sides are congruent. That is, which two sides are congruent? The same two sides on which the perpendicular is drawn. That is, side BC is congruent to side AC. That's all, and this is the end of problem set and sum number 10. Hope you understood.